It's taken 9 months of tussles in Brussels, but now the Brexit process is trundling into the next phase, one which will affect all of our futures. Behind closed doors in featureless rooms, a small army of negotiators is on standby, but what pressures will they face? Not just the complexities of supply chains, but external forces will bear down on the walls. Politics in 28 countries, industries vying for special treatment and media scrutiny.
The people on the other side of the table, I mean, they're not your enemies. You are looking for mutually beneficial solutions in a negotiation. The more low-key and boring in the eyes of the general public a negotiation is, the more likely it is to be successful.
But this room isn't in a vacuum. To determine possible stumbling blocks, both sides will carry out so-called scoping exercises. This is the preparation before the main event.
A scoping exercise is what does the UK want from these negotiations? They will have to liaise with industry, they will have to liaise with consumer groups, they'll also have to liaise with the devolved government. Then the government needs to have these discussions and work out who they're going to please and who they're not going to please, more importantly.
Then it's on to the negotiations proper. Rather than one table with every contentious issue battered from side to side, this has to be broken down into bite-sized chunks. A team assembled to discuss each sector, like energy, the environment, transport, each with access to legal advice and accountants. It was a similar process when the US and EU, the world's two biggest trading blocs, tried to strike a deal known as TTIP. It eventually failed. One of the American negotiators says the complex structure of the EU made things harder.
It's certainly not just the people in the room. The people in the room are the tip of the iceberg. Away from the negotiating table, there are constituencies, there are business interests, there are NGOs, there are governmental interests, there are local government issues. Because these are sovereign governments negotiating, they all need to be factored in. Because at the end of the day, you need to have an agreement that can be passed by the legislatures.
And all those in the room will be beavering under time constraints, both sides trying to avoid a no deal before March 2019 and keep us trading when we leave. So can it be done?
It's not impossible for one reason. At the moment, our rules are the same as the EU rules, and the EU rules are not foreign rules. So often the EU rules and policies have been devised by UK interests.
The process will involve thousands, negotiators, politicians, lawyers and lobbyists. The impact of their decisions will affect hundreds of millions long after it's completed. Robert Nisbet, Sky News.